Hello, everyone, and welcome to our assembly for this week. Now, this week is Place to Be's Children's Mental Health Week, and you've probably already watched the assembly that Place to Be issued yesterday on Monday. And the theme for this week is Express Yourself. And I wonder if you've had a chance yet to think about what does express yourself actually mean? Well, it's all about finding creative ways to share feelings, thoughts, or ideas. And that could be things through such as art, writing, music, dance, and just generally doing things that make you feel good. And it's really important to know that expressing yourself is not about being the best at something or putting on a performance for others. It's about finding a way to show how you are feeling that can help you feel good about yourself. And something that I really enjoy doing, that I find is a way of expressing myself, particularly during lockdown, I really enjoy cooking and baking. And I enjoy doing that with my daughter at home. And it's a really good way of being able to express ourselves and also at the same time do something that makes us feel good and also makes other people feel good as well. And we're going to have a look at a very quick clip. And as you're watching this clip, I want you to look for all of the different ways that people are expressing themselves in this short video. And when you finish watching the video, you could always press pause and you could discuss with people at home all of the different ways that you found that people express themselves. So let's watch this short clip and see what you can see. I wonder how many different ways you found in that video that were people that were expressing themselves in all sorts of different ways. And it's really important that we find healthy ways to express ourselves because that makes a real difference to our mental health and our well-being. And it's worth at this point just recapping what we mean by mental health. Just as we look after our physical health, which would be our bodies, like exercising, eating well, getting enough sleep, it's also really important that we look after our mental health, that's our minds, as well. And one way of being able to care for our mental health is to notice and share how we are feeling. And expressing ourselves creatively is one of the ways that can help us to do this. And at the moment, we are in the challenging time of lockdown. And during lockdown, many people have found lots of different creative ways to help them through it. Things such as gardening, growing plants, doing some mindful colouring, drawing, reading, writing stories, making models, dancing, baking. The list could go on and on of all of the different creative ways that people have found to express themselves during lockdown, which makes a really positive difference to their mental health and to their well-being. I wonder, are there things that you and your family have done during lockdown to help you express yourselves and to help you get through the lockdown and to ensure that you're feeling as good about yourself as you possibly can? So I'm going to do another short clip now, and this one is called Creativity Goes On. And this clip is specifically about lockdown and some of the creative things that people have done to really promote their good quality mental health during this challenging time. So let's watch this next clip now, called Creativity Goes On.
us together in ways none of us would have been able to predict or expect.
I'm so small, said the mole. Yes, said the boy, but you make a huge difference.
Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that clip, and that really reinforces the message that finding ways to be creative is a really good way of being able to look after our mind. And it's also really important to think about, how does being creative and expressing yourself make you feel? And it can make such a positive difference to have that creative outlet, whether you're singing, whether you're playing the piano, dancing, painting, playing chess online. There are so many different ways that you can express yourself and make you feel good. And it's really important to remember that we don't have to be a fantastic artist or a wonderful dancer. It's not about being the best at something or putting on that show. And actually, we can really think about how we can encourage ourselves, encourage each other to be creative. And the next little clip that I'm going to share with you is from a story that some of you may remember reading recently, or if you're one of our older pupils when you were younger. And it's called The Beautiful Oops. And I think it's a great way of showing that we don't need to be perfect when we express ourselves. And even a small mistake can turn into something quite incredible. So let's watch this next clip now, which is all about being able to express ourselves, but not being worried about always having to be the best. So let's enjoy The Beautiful Oops.
Piece of paper is just the beginning. Every spill has lots of possibilities. Bent paper is something to celebrate. A little drip of paint, let your imagination run wild. A scrap of paper can be fun to play with. A smudge and a smear can make magic appear. Stain has potential if you play with the shape. Holes in your paper are worth exploring. When you think you have made a mistake, think of it as an opportunity to make something beautiful. Beautiful oops, beautiful oops, beautiful oops, beautiful oops.
So that was just quite a fun way of showing that even a small mistake can turn into something quite fantastic and quite creative. And I want you to have a think now about how you can be helping to support each other and how you can get creative during this Children's Mental Health Week. And it would be wonderful if you could come up with some ideas at home. What could you do to set yourself a creative challenge? It could be using art materials, creating a piece of music, doing something with words, writing a story or a poem. Maybe you might make up a dance. You might do something on the computer, some form of digital design. You could maybe even plant some seeds to create your own indoor garden. Or maybe you could create a recipe and cook something delicious at home. What would be really great is if you come up with your own creative challenge this week during Children's Mental Health Week. Maybe you could send that in. You could send that via Seesaw so that your teachers can have a look at what you have managed to do for Children's Mental Health Week. And if we have some really good examples, we could maybe share some of these in our celebration assembly this Friday. So start thinking, get creative, and also maybe in your class meetings, you could discuss how you could support each other with becoming as creative as you can. Now, if you're finding it difficult to come up with some ideas, I've got 2 challenges for you that I'm going to share now. The first one is called the Squiggle Game, and the second one is an origami challenge. Let's watch both of these and think about how could you take on one of these challenges this week to develop your own creativity. Let's start with the Squiggle Game.
Every year at Place to Be, we celebrate Children's Mental Health Week. This year's theme is Express Yourself. There are so many ways we can express ourselves creatively. Let's try something fun together. The Squiggle Game. All you need is a pen and paper and to squiggle. Then have a look at what you can spot in your squiggle. Can you turn it into something else? Let's turn this one into a little friend. You might see a face, an animal, a fantastical creature. You might even want to imagine what your friend might say to you. My panda's excited about expressing themselves creatively at Children's Mental Health Week, and I hope you are too.
Okay, that was our first one. And now we're going to learn how to make a paper dog using some easy origami. Well, that's a really simple way of being able to do something creative. And if you want to do the Squiggle Game or the origami challenge, all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. I think everyone could have a go at doing that at home. If you enjoy the origami challenge of the dog, what other things could you make using origami? And as I mentioned before, it would be fantastic if people could share those via Seesaw, send us some pictures of what you managed to create. So, recapping, Mental Health Week, it's all about doing something creative, expressing ourselves, and making us feel good. Think about how you can support each other and how you can support your families with that this week. Thank you for watching our assembly. Good luck with the challenges, and I look forward to seeing them on Seesaw. Thank you very much for joining.